Welcome, Gemini. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do a reading for you. This is following the new moon in Cancer of last week, but the energy of the emotional power and energy, the ability to self-cleanse and check in with the emotional relationship with yourself is still with us. And these are positive encouragements to slow down, to pace yourself, to recognize that the way we respond to it with our patterns of behavior in relationships are what has defined us till now, but that we've actually outgrown many of those patterns. And so we're softening our defenses and discovering some kind of inner security. So I've started with the oracles. I'm going to start today with the Crystal Spirit Oracle, and I pulled for you Sodalite. This is a beautiful gem, and naturally I'm going to read from the guidebook a little bit about this. So the prosperity message, which feels particularly relevant for you at this time, reads, the message of Sodalite Spirit can guide you when you are seeing scarcity instead of abundance, knowing that the universe is there to bolster your ability to co-create prosperity in many forms may be just what you need to get past the old fears, keeping you stuck in patterns best left behind. We all fall into habits learned many years ago, but Sodalite has appeared to awaken you so that you can catch yourself before veering too far off the path you've chosen for yourself. Prosperity flourishes when you are aligned with the conscious universe and your true self. Sodalite teaches us to be here now rather than lost in the past or gazing into the future. Meditation with a stone allows us to experience the wisdom of our journey thus far. It encourages non-attachment and integration of all experiences, helping us to make choices in the moment from a higher perspective. And this is particularly for those of you that have felt challenged by the kind of perhaps abundance, prosperity, even wealth that you've experienced in the past, and your inability to attract that same kind of wealth in the present. And what that is showing you is that you've changed. You are being encouraged to change, to recognize the wealth and abundance in many other forms in your life, in your environment, that are not simply about material comfort or material goods. So this is encouraging you to value the abundance in your life in a variety of ways. And I pulled from the Soul's Journey, the Love card. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And this is more or less repeating a similar dynamic in your life. This is where instead of looking at things in terms of what you do want and what you don't want, this is encouraging you to want what you have. So that is what encourages abundance. That's what signals to the universe that you are grateful for what you have. You value what you have. And the universe is then encouraged to increase what you have. So if you value whatever small amount of money you have that feels inadequate, if you carefully utilize that, if you are resourceful with that, the universe is inclined to give you more as you demonstrate that you know how to be responsible for whatever abundance you do have in your life. That's an example, but it feels very germane for some of you today. And in the present, the Temperance card. So there's this similar dynamic of, I won't call it juggling, I'll call it balancing. Balancing the resources that you have, the gifts you have, and the challenges, the opportunities that you face. The Temperance card shows me that you've been struggling for a very, very long time in this particular regard. Perhaps for you, it isn't about material wealth. Perhaps it's about dissatisfaction or a lack of connection in your relationships. Whatever the imbalance is, you have endured many storms, ones that have challenged your connection perhaps to family or ancestry of the very perhaps individuals or guides who supported you to pursue the kind of professional service that you have engaged in for a while. So, this is telling me that someone taught you, someone close to you, mentored you in a particular field that you are extremely talented in, but perhaps some of the guidance was not appropriate and you ignored that and perhaps have experienced some severe consequences for ways in which you didn't always serve to the best of your ability. So you are now being encouraged to think about ways in which your talents, your gifts, your professional employment is about assisting others, helping others, and how true to that you recognize you are capable of. It is quite possible to make money, as an example, without uh, cheating or slicing or uh, being indirect or obscure. So, this is encouraging you to dig into the service and the talent that you have and that supports others. This feels like a long message in some ways, but it's very focused, it's very direct. In the past, the Two of Pentacles, again, we have this idea of juggling or navigating or managing. It feels as though in the past you we're encouraged to think about your abundance, prosperity in a singular way, i.e., as an example, of focus on money, increasing your bottom line, receiving more than you gave out, um, looking for the most that you could receive in terms of material abundance or wealth, perhaps an ostentatious display of your status or your money was part of what drained a fair amount of prosperity from you by focusing on keeping up with the Joneses, letting others know that you had arrived or that you were successful. And those emblems of success actually became ways of draining your resources rather than adding to them. And I feel like that has taken you on quite a wild ride from extremes of comfort, wealth, even luxury for some of you, to scarcity, even poverty, or not having enough, not feeling as though you are worthy of what you seek in terms of being truly connected to yourself, being honest with yourself. In the future, the Nine of Cups. This is beautiful. And what's so beautiful about this is, I believe, your sense of what is important, what you value has changed, has shifted as a result of all of this focus on material comfort, wealth. Perhaps you were responsible for others or you worked in coordination with others. So there was a necessity to this idea of focusing on fairly dividing up resources. Depending on how well you were able to do that, you came to value the relationships, the emotions of being responsible, taking care of others, attending to the needs of loved ones, being clear about your own emotional desires or what you dreamed of accomplishing. Your potential is something that has shifted for you, is shifting. This is not a small shift. This is a major shift and can explain in some ways why this particular new moon that occurred about a week ago and has been building up for prior to that time and is still resonating with us is because the idea of emotional connection is something you're still learning to give to yourself. You have every right to feel good. You have every right to feel good about what you do. And I think you're making the connection that the more that you do that is of service, that does support others without undercutting yourself. What is good for you is good for others. Wanting to share those good feelings, that sense of abundance, of having all that you need and being satisfied, contented with the process that you underwent to achieve that is what you are coming to experience. It's what you're growing into. This nets you every bit of material success that you wanted in the past. But what is much more abundant about that is you don't undercut your right for love, for connection. You don't put that in the back seat or believe that someone else is going to supply love if you're not giving love to yourself. So I feel like you're going through a tremendous change, transformation in terms of what you value, what is important, without naturally releasing the goal of abundance. We live in an abundant world. You have every right to desire that abundance, but the way that you see it living in your life is shifting very dramatically. Gemini, if you relate to this, resonate in any way, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot, and I really appreciate your presence here. Thanks for your comments, your shares, all the ways you support me. So for the Two of Pentacles in the vast, I'm going to get two cards, the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. In the present, the Temperance, the Three of Pentacles, and the Temperance card again. Really beautiful. And the Nine of Cups in the future, the Queen of Swords, and the Eight of Cups. Wow. Okay. This, I have to say, this particular time is so ripe with potential and possibility, but I do believe choices that many of us are making are quite similar. And this really reflects upon your growth, your emotional growth, which now accompanies what we largely are measured by in the society as material growth and wealth status. You've shifted into another realm of recognizing and accepting your potential for something more, a potential that will be your legacy in many ways. In the past, the Two of Pentacles, you have opened yourself up to a path that was very financially or materially rewarding. You took a path to employment, to your creative contribution to the world, if you will, in the job that you do or the job that you were trained to do. And it was a very contentious environment. It was an environment in which you, as those that trained you, were not supposed to or imagined or expected to be successful. But it was one in which you, in fact, were very successful, and it required you to dismiss the contributions of others. It required you to go outside of the normal training or the ordinary rules of your profession in order to get what you needed and to approach the business, your clients, your students in a way that you defined, that you knew would be helpful to them. So there's a way in which you understood your market or your audience, and a way in which you may have approach them in a way that did not give them all the options they were due. And in that way, this almost feels as though you took the instant gratification, you took the short deal in order to maximize the immediate profit, and you perhaps have been living with the consequences of some unfair treatment or some way in which you didn't serve others in a way that you could have. In the present, the Temperance card is clarified by the Temperance. Once again, always a validation that this is a dramatic and tremendous healing opportunity for you now. So there's a lot of purification going on in terms of your review of actions taken or decisions made in the past, ways in which you're rethinking those decisions in order to set yourself up in a fresh way. Your approach now to the work that you used to do in a very aggressive or assertive manner is now with a focus on the real service that you can provide, that you know exists, considering your audience, your clients in a different way. This looks as though you're looking to new communities, those communities where you can learn something as well as provide services that you have, that you're familiar with. You understand an industry, you understand the rules, and you are showing yourself to be very talented in understanding the way that the profit or money flows. And you're doing that, though, with the consideration to who you're serving without looking at a way that both ends of the spectrum profit or are served. How you are served by bringing something to your clients, your students, or your audience, and they equally are benefiting from your knowledge, information, and talent. So this shows you are taking action to do something in a completely different way. Your awareness of what you have to offer, the power of your skills, is something that is renewed and that has taken you to a different place with regard to your own self-respect, to your own sense of benefit. In other words, a contract that is well served to clients, as an example, not only gives you the profit of that interaction, but it also gives you a client who is satisfied, who can promote your services to others. And then the goodwill of those who you've served well becomes a force to put you in the environment of unexpected new clients, new opportunities to serve. So this is something you now have a more global view about your powers used in a benevolent, optimistic, or beneficial way. And the Nine of Cups is clarified by your logic, your rationality, your detachment. And I love this card for you. You are learning about all the implications of your powerful services in the world. You are seeing your clients or your student body or audience members as partners in transactions in a way that allows you to open up, to elicit feedback, to take suggestions, to take recommendations from those you serve. This is taking you into new realms of new ideas. In connection with people that may see innovative ways to use your services, where you can become involved in larger enterprises or efforts that are the challenge that you are seeking. because I feel that you're aware that you have learned all you can learn from the environment you're in or the relationships you've had. It isn't that you're willing to throw them away. It's just that you desire a greater significant challenge. You want to make a bigger contribution. And it looks as though your clients, those you serve, are pointing you in that direction. They're putting you in the mind of the flow of new networks and opportunities. And this is giving you validation for your consideration of the emotional value of doing good in the world, assisting people, helping them, giving them the information they need to continue to derive benefit from your service, being an open door to those you have served who want to come back with opportunities you might never be aware of outside of your connection to satisfied customers. I'm going to finish up this reading, Gemini, with a botanical inspiration. And I pulled on top the phlox and the hyacinth. And I'm going to take them both because playfulness is the key of hyacinth. And I do believe Geminis have an incredible gift for being playful. So I'm going to read the quote. Play is the royal road to childhood happiness and adult brilliance. So even those of you that may not have had a happy childhood, you engage easily, naturally with children, with joy, with fun, with having fun. There is a lightness to your touch that is very relatable and undoubtedly assists you in the work that you do. And the Phlox card reads unanimity and harmony. He who lives in They who live in harmony with themselves live in harmony with the universe. Thank you so much, Gemini, for this reading, and I'm sending you so much love and blessings. Until next time, namaste.